They just deadgum leaked all the items in Sunken Temple, guys, so let's take a look at them really quick because there is a lot of cool stuff. First we start with the two-handed weapons. There's a couple blue ones. I'm gonna gloss over the blue ones because they are fairly unremarkable here. There's one with 1% crit and 1% hit. This one right here, polearm. Remember, arms warriors can use polearms. This is probably aimed for hunters though, range hunters. This stat stick right here, 12 agility on top of that. This is gonna be probably the best in slot for hunters. There is also a healer staff, 44 healing on it, that's really nice. Sight of the Dream. This polearm is actually slow. Warriors, look at this. You can go polearm spec in arms, remember that. 20 strength, 8 agility, 1% crit. It's not gonna be the best in slot, obviously, but if you can get a hold of this one at the start of the tier, take it, because this is really good. The Gun Axe, this is more of a PvP item, it has an active to do a ranged attack on it. The stats suck, we're not gonna look at that. This Mace may be decent if you're 200 Fury, 1% crit on it, and the speed is also really nice. Probably not gonna be best in slot, by far not the best in slot. Then you got this stuff right here, this is the feral item we're getting this tier. It has 78 attack power, 30 strength and 18 agility. That's a lot of stats. And they made sure that we cannot use it as warriors or other melees by making it super fast. Because they do know that if they made it slow, people would take it even if they weren't a feral, because the stats are insane. It is still kinda underwhelming coming from the crowd pommeler to this, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's probably gonna be better though. We're gonna have to wait for Jake to run it on the simulator thing and we're gonna see. Now let's take a look at this sword. Chieftain's Bane. Improves your crit chance by 1% and it has 35 strength on it, 52 DPS on it. So we're talking like effective extra 6 DPS on it from the strength alone. Probably even more. So this is really strong for humans. It is not gonna be the best in slot for non-humans because take a look at this one right here. This one is when I saw this one I busted a nut on the screen, guys. Tail of Eranicus, 42 strength, 64 DPS on it, and it has 8 skill, 200 swords. Screw the humans, guys. Humans are over. Humans are literally over. It is the time of the Tauren. There is also this nice little caster stuff right here. Look at this. 14 stamina, 14 intellect, 13 spirit, 380 speed. That's important, guys, because if you look at it, it has spell damage and 2% crit. And if you take a look at that, it doesn't have spell crit. It is only for melee and range attacks. So hunters can get it. Range hunters do benefit from spell power a little bit. We saw that a long time ago in a previous video. The speed is excellent for enhancement shamans. I think this right here is intended to be a 200 enhancement shaman spec, or maybe some sort of hunter ranged spec, which is amazing. I like variety. I like the gimmick that it is a staff. I want to see more weird items like this. The one-handers are even more boring if you look at the blue ones. I'm not gonna spend much time talking about it. This one right here, the Tooth of Eranicus, this might be a great offhand because it has 1% hit on it. I would probably take that for the hit. This offhanded dagger right here, the degraded dire nail, is really fast. It has 1% crit on it. That's probably also really good for warriors and rogues because you can use it to keep deep wounds up at all times. And here, take a look at this epic one. Dragon's Cry, 260 attack speed, so that is a really good attack speed for a warrior main hander, a rogue main hander, or even a... Sadly, shamans cannot use it, but it would also be an excellent shaman weapon. A 16 attack power, and here, calls an emerald dragon to help you in battle. This is like that weapon in BWL that summoned that demon guy to help you. This is amazing. Of course, we cannot really know what the damage of this is gonna mean until we see it, because we don't know what the whelp is gonna do. But this may very well be the best in slot depending on how that works out. Although I gotta say that it's not the most impressive main hander you can get yet, because if you go to the main handed section here, Cobra Fang Claw. It has Wind Fury on it, guys. Grants an extra attack on your next suite. They put Wind Fury on the weapon. We got Wind Fury again, double Wind Fury, bro. And since it isn't called Wind Fury, it is called Trash the effect, right? So that means that it can proc off Wind Fury and it can proc Wind Fury. So in theory, if you do get a Trash proc, you can get a Wind Fury proc off for that and you can do a triple attack, in theory. Tell me that isn't busted. The stats are really nice, the speed is also very good for a warrior, 40 attack speed, right? 260 attack speed, 40 DPS. This is probably gonna be best in slot for melee hunters, best in slot for warriors, and best in slot for dual wield enhancement shamans. I don't see how this couldn't be good. Because even if you have Rockbiter, you can still get this proc. Hell, if I am a tank shaman, I probably want this. Like, can you imagine a double Rockbiter hit with this thing with the proc? You can get like, an insane amount of threat. There is also a caster dagger here with 20 spell power on it. That's kinda nice. There is a fire variant here with 23 fire damage, which is not great, but of course 23 is higher, so if you're a fire you don't really care, you should take it. If you're a fire mage or a warlock. And this main handle, remember the staff, the healing staff that we got to see, the two-handed, it had 44 spell power on it, and this has 35 spell power on it for healing, so that's a lot of healing for a main handle. I am told the off-handed like book thing you can hold is also insane, so we're gonna take a look at that later. If I recall correctly, it had 25 spell power on that one, 25 healing, so 35 plus 25, that's 50. So of course, if you get the staff, get it. The staff is great, but this is gonna be even better. There is also the ranged ones. I don't wanna take a look at them too hard. They just got stats on them. That's nothing interesting. The epic bow though, it is slow, so that's good for ranged hunters. 8 agility, 22 attack power, range only. The only one that could use it is the ranged hunter. We're gonna have to wait to see what happens with that, of course. Now they leaked the warlock set right here. It has 1% hit on it, and the chest piece at least, and the set bonus is another 1% hit and 15 stamina, which is nice because in Omeregan they would take away your stamina, and if you're a warlock that sucks. And that's the only epic chest piece we got to see yet. This is a healer one, 44 plus healing on the chest. That's busted, my brother in Christ. The only problem is it doesn't have a set bonus, so we're gonna have to see how that interacts with the whole thing. It may very well be that the chest piece is broken, but the set piece is better, so because the bonus, and that would kinda suck. This is a weird thing. This is from Leatherworking right here that also got leaked. You can make these shoulders for you that give you 20 spell power. They give you a chance to increase your spell casting speed, but the problem is that it is Leatherworking, but it is male, so this is only for elemental shamans. It looks super nice, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's a shame that you cannot get it for your druid. This would have been an excellent boomkin item, for example. And they are also dropping a line of epic rings, very similar to the epic ring in Omeregan. Let's take a look at those really quick. The caster one right here is healing plus 20 and mana per 5. Not great, it's good stats, but it's not interesting. The caster one is the same, but just plus 15 damage. The melee one looks amazing, 1% hit on it, like the one from Marodon, and 20 attack power. Like everybody's gonna fight over that one, I can assure you. And the tank one right here, I like this one, right? 60 extra armor. If you are a bear, remember that you get the modifier in vanilla still, so you get 8 times the number that you're reading right there. That's busted. If I were a bear, I would probably take this one. Also, this is not unique, right? I can take this one and this one. So I can take 2% hit on my rings. Tell me that isn't busted. And the last one, this is for the hunter, the ranged hunters, 1% hit and 31 range attack power. If you do not have a ranged hunter in your raid, because, I don't know, if it still sucks by the time we get there, all the melees are gonna want it anyway. 10 stamina, 1% hit is still an excellent ring, even without their attack power. Let's take a look at the unique relics here. There's an item, this is for druids, 2% damage on swipe, that's nice. Libram, this is for paladins, 2% block on Holy Shield. I don't know if paladins are gonna go deep prot yet. I got a paladin lined up to talk to on the podcast next week. We're gonna find that out, I hope. Oh, and take a look at this. This one is actually kinda cool. When you do Flame Shock, you gain attack power and spell damage. That's cool. And the trinkets, okay? Ironically, the trinket that caught my attention the most is the Chained Essence of Eranicus, guys. Not because it is good, but because it is the exact same trinket that it used to be. They didn't change this one at all. It is just AoE damage on clouds. I mean, that's nice. In some pools you're gonna see people trying to use this maybe, because it did decent damage back in the day, but we're gonna have to see. I just thought it was funny. Then there's a trinket with 1% hit. Of course you want that one. This warlock trinket, I talked to a bunch of warlocks. They all tell me it is useless, and I believe them, because this only affects corruption basically. You get 100 more damage on your corruption. Oh god, no. And it has a 5-minute cooldown, so yeah, it's not even... If you could refresh your corruption over and over, like you could back in the day with Rato Elixir, for example, where your Shadow Bolt could refresh it, maybe this would be good value, because like if you technically have the same corruption, you get the whole uptime the whole time, but that's not the way it works, I am told, so it's just gonna suck, boys. Then this item right here, we don't know what it does. If I am to guess, this description, this is probably a trinket you need to do some sort of mechanic, kinda like the weapons in Kael'thas that fight in TBC. This is what I guess it would be, I don't know. This ritual badge over here, apparently these ones, they are all like the same, you probably get them off a quest line or something. It gives you 1000 armor, which is absolutely worthless, even for a bear this is a bad trinket. And defense skills for 20 seconds, so defense skill is pretty much worthless, nobody cares about this. This trinket is pretty freaking useless. If they put like, I don't know, 10 stamina on it, I would maybe consider it, but it's bad. Nobody's gonna want this one. This right here, the caster one, is a more traditional casting trinket. You just pop it and you get spell power. I like the idea that we got normal trinkets too, especially if you're something like, I don't know, a fire mage and you're doing a fat pyroblast on pull. I would like to see that. Then this one right here, this is probably for dual wield, because it increases your damage, your flat damage on the weapon by 20. And you lose, every time you hit, you lose some of it. But of course, if you get a slow 200, that is useless, because like 20 damage on a, I don't know, 800 hit is nothing. But if you are doing like a fast dagger or something, this is a lot of damage in theory. There is another weird trinket here, probably again for the mechanic, is weird. And this one right here, another weird trinket. There is a lot of weird trinket. This one right here, the inanimator become inanimate. I think this is just like an ice block. It's just gonna take you off they make you unhittable, which is probably for PvP. I would like this on PvP if that's the case. There is also a hex tier, like this is probably for a buff, I don't know. And make you harder to detect. This is for like sneaking in maybe? They got a lot of weird trinkets. I like the idea of weird trinkets, guys. I always said, my view of trinkets is like you got like 20 trinkets that they all do different things and you swap over them when you need them. I hope that's the case here. I would love that to happen, guys. And we also got like a sneaky peek at the models from Wowhead here. So let's take a look. The gun axe, it looks really crap, but this model was already in the game actually. This one right here, this axe looks new. It looks something out of TBC kinda. It's just like a rock on a stick. This model is old. This model is also old. Oh my lord, take a look at this. The tail of Eranicus. This looks like something out of Monster Hunter 3. I wanna see that. Oh, all these swords look cool. I mean, this one looks kinda weird. But like, Parasomnia, I haven't seen this one before. Take a look at that, we're getting a new Blood Moon reward from STB. 52 DPS, 340, oh. This is not quite great, but of course for PvP it's great because it has the fear effect that the old weapon in BWL had. But take a look at that, like, that's the pre-best right there. You want a pre-best in slot weapon for 2-hand? You got it. This is the one. You're not gonna beat this one. The sight, this is one of the nice 2-handers that you can actually use and you wouldn't be trolling for using, and it looks cool, so I'm down for that. This pike right here, this hot pike, is a model from Scarlet Monastery. You get it off the torturer guy. This model, I think I've seen it before too. The bow, look at that bow. That bow looks cool. I don't know how you're supposed to shoot an arrow through it because it has a mask in front of it. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but yeah. I got the bias of being a melee. Sorry for the light. I am in natural sunlight. It sucks. I hate the sun. I see a lot more variety on weapons. That was my main criticism on Omeregan loot. It had like 2 decent weapons on the whole raid. Now we got actual variety, actual choices to make. The trinkets looks interesting. I don't know what they do yet. Let's hope they do something interesting and cool. I don't like the whole thing of like you do 20 damage when you like when it's Wednesday. No, I want something cool. I don't know, like summoning a dragon that dances, something like that. The caster loot seems, in my opinion, toned down. Like they put a lot of stats on it, but there's nothing groundbreaking like there used to be. And also they data mine something else I want to show you before I go. Okay. This is probably not for Sunken Temple, that's why I am giving this caveat here. This looks like something for Phase 4. Lassoed core hounds can be tamed. We are getting that core hound pet next phase, okay guys? We're gonna go to Molten Core and we're gonna get a little beast right here. Get owned, idiots! Subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching!